Hello, this is Richard C. Wilson of the Family Office Podcast. We're doing an investor mandate interview today with Michael. And I spent some time with Michael at the Super Summit in December. We got to speak during a private investor dinner for a good 20 or 30 minutes. And at that large of an event, it's hard to speak with anybody for more than a couple minutes. And I enjoyed the time with Michael. And since then, we've kept in touch. And welcome here to the interview, Michael.
Thank you so much, Richard. Great pleasure. And I hope you and the audience are all safe and healthy.
Great. And can you share the type of investment firm that you're with and kind of your day-to-day role there?
Absolutely. I'm a partner and managing director of the. We are a fifth generation family from Canada, from 1873. We're headquartered in Nassau, and we have recently established, as of June of 2019, a registered investment advisory firm in Miami for the first time in history to reach out to friends and family within the United States.
Great. And what is your investment mandate in terms of things you're looking for, structure preferences? I'm sure some of it's based on, the multiple generations of your family, but now also the investors that you represent within your RIA.
Yes, we are traditionally conservative investors, leaning toward a more value-oriented philosophy. We create highly customized and tailor-made portfolios for our clients, and everything we do is on a bespoke basis.
Okay. And above all else, in return for doing this interview with us, what type of investment strategy, investment manager, fund, real estate property, what is something that you'd really like to source? For example, somebody on stage in New York once said, if you've held on to a property for a generation or two or a piece of land and you don't know what to do with it, talk to me and maybe we can JV. And he got 2 joint ventures investments done through being that specific. And in your case, what are you looking for above all else?
Well, basically, the family has populated 3 funds which have been highly successful. One is an income fund, one is a real estate fund, and one is an opportunity fund. We're now reaching out for co-investment with friends and family. But basically, our investment mandate is a long-term strategy. We're currently reducing our positions in government-related fixed income, as an example, ETFs, which we believe are overpriced and don't add any additional value. We're keeping our cash levels elevated, and we're building up quality names and equities as we're approaching the bottom of the market so we can move back into that market. We have several non-correlated opportunities for friends and family. Falcon 5 Fund, which is a algorithm out of Europe dealing with sports-related activities, which has been highly successful in the last 5 years. So we look out of the box. The firm has an artificial intelligence division in Montreal. We have an investment advisory group out of Nassau and Miami, and a trust company out of Cayman. So we keep everything very tight, and everything is very concise and very efficient for the family and for friends. Sure.
What about investment opportunities represented by other firms, though? Those seem like internal things that you've created your own funds for others to invest into. But in terms of exposure here to connect with some members of the community, is there anything that your investment committee discusses or anything your team is asking you to keep an eye out for that's related to a certain type of investment firm or type of strategy that you'd like to connect with, through members of the investor club?
Absolutely. We look at pre-IPO companies. We look at artificial intelligence. We look at fintech. We look at real estate. These are core investments that the family and invests in.
Sure.
Currently, we're engaging in future-oriented sectors to benefit our long-term philosophy with quality names and technology, also quality companies. We're moving to more attractive entry levels, so we'll be getting back into the market relatively soon.
Great. Yeah, I hear a lot about blockchain and AI and fintech, et cetera. And I have to say there's a lot of fintech companies that are getting a lot of traction right now and producing revenue and profits. And compared to some other kind of in fast-growing areas, I see a lot of fintech companies getting traction. So that's great. My final question here is, what's the piece of advice that you could save? What's a piece of advice that you could provide here that would save an investor $100,000 in lost fees or costs, or maybe it would save them a lot of time that's worth at least $100,000 to them? But what would be your number one piece of advice for investors listening to this interview today?
Don't panic. Don't sell. Hold cash and wait for opportunistic investing.
Great. Yeah, thank you. And if somebody wants to get in touch with you to discuss either your advice or your insights or what your RIA does, or they have an investment within one of those areas that you mentioned, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
My private cell phone is, or you can reach me by email at m.com.
Great. And that's right?
That's absolutely correct.
Okay, great. I want to make sure everyone gets that so that we don't get 20 emails about it. So I appreciate you being on the interview here today. And thanks for being right to the point on all the answers. And I hope to see you at one of our virtual investor discussion panels coming up, which we're doing on every week on Thursdays and Fridays, or one of our live events once those resume here shortly. So thanks again for your time today.
And thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, Richard.